Thanks. First of all, I would like to thank you, everyone, and especially to the Institute for Competition and Procurement Studies of the University of Bangor, and a special word to Professor Pedro that give me this fantastic opportunity to do my first presentation as well in an international conference, and national as well, because I never presented anything in Portugal. So, when I was looking into the proposals for the new procedures, I find out that the European Commission creates a new procedure. I will not call it procedure, but a partnership to promote innovation. Let's go a little further. First of all, the new economic dictionary after the Europe strategy of 2020. We all know that the European strategy is to promote innovation. Because why innovation? Is the belief of the European Union that is the only way that we can compete with the emerging economies from the BRIC countries or the CIVET countries that have much stronger economies in other fields, like they have younger population, they have other types of industry. So the only way we Europeans can compete is through innovation. This is the belief of the European Commission. And the promotion of innovation in strategic fields, such as public procurement. So, what is the problem of persuading innovation through EU procurement? As we have said, the lack of specialized knowledge of the procurement officers. In this morning, we have go to this topic a long time. And Antonio Tajani, that is the Vice President of the European Commission, in the Project Union for Innovation in 2010, said that we should invest and put more money in preparing the public procurement officers to set the specifications on the innovation of products. Normally, it's done by functional requirements. And there's also an absence of flexibility in the procedures, different from the current ones laid down on the directives 2017 and 2018. Even from competitive dialogue or negotiated procedures that are supposed to be good for promoting innovation. Let's go a little further. So, as I have said, the innovation partnership is not a common procedure. It's a partnership. And the nomenclature is not innocent in any way, because it encompasses a procedure, first to award the contract and select a future partner. And then it gives us the rules that are going to structure and govern the future partnership. I just have to make a comment. If you like to interrupt me and ask anything, feel free. The majority of that rules are from the negotiated procedure, as it clearly be seen by Article 29.3 of the proposal. Although we can find some exceptions. The first exception is to the scope. And the scope of this procedure, it seems to define as well innovation in the view of the Commission, because it says that we can only submit research and innovation to meet the needs identified by the contracting authority that cannot be met by existing solutions. It's my opinion that existing solutions in the market, current in the market, because it can submit maybe some current ideas we can ask. And then the selection phase of the candidates. The Commission on the proposal has the clear necessity to state that the contracting authority should and could pay special attention to the tender's capacity and experience in the field of research and development. Although some of the opinion of doctrine, such as Martin Bergi, says that from the new Article 56.4, when it says that the conditions for selecting the partner the private operator must have the conditions to execute the contract, means the same that he has to have experience in the field of research and innovation, because we are talking about innovation solutions. But to give a more legal certainty that to pay special attendance to the attendance capacity and experience in the field of research and develop innovation solutions will not be discriminated in the view of the Commission and affect competition, the proposal has the special care, we must say, to put this. And then the award criteria that must always be the most economical tender. We cannot use the lowest price. Let's go to the structure of the partnership. After selecting the partner, the contracting authority and this partner are going to have two main moments. A moment to produce or to develop that good, and a subsequent moment to persuade that product. And that could not mean that the public need is fulfilled, because we can end a partnership with a product and then launch another procedure, for example, competitive dialogue with that information, and proceed another thing. But we have a moment when the private sector and the public sector work together to build an innovation. And that is very important, because the main information of innovation solutions lies on the private sector. The public sector doesn't know anything about innovation solutions. The private sector must know everything about innovation solutions. So that allows the contracting authorities maybe to talk after selecting a partner with the partner and reach a solution. Of course, it has to correspond to agree performance levels and costs, otherwise it would be very attractive to anti-competitive behavior. So, the connections between the moment when you develop the product and the moment when you buy the product or acquire the intellectual property rights. Well, as we can clearly see, Article 29(2) forces the partnership to be structured into successive stages following a sequence of steps. The contracting authority and the partner must as well set out intermediate targets to be attained by the partner and the contracting authority. And the contracting authority should provide for payment when the targets are achieved. An interesting point of view, we are talking about the importance of language in the morning as well. If you look to the Portuguese version of the proposal for the directive, we can see that the intermediate targets are optional. They are not optional, they have to be there. They have to be made. In the Portuguese version, it says that forces the partnership to be structured into successive stages following a sequence of steps, but the contracting authority could as well set out intermediate targets. It could not, it must, because we have to have targets and see if the partner is doing their job well. So you can see that here, with exceptions to the value and the duration of the partnership, we have a great discretion from the procurement or the contracting entity to structure and design the successive stages. Although, when I was investigating that topic, I asked myself, should the structure of the partnership should be published in advance? No. Because, as I have said, the information for produce good innovation products lies on the private sector. The public sector has done procedures that submits to competitions to select a partner already, to award and select a partner. And with that selection, I fulfill the obligations of the European treaties: competition, transparency, and no discrimination. And then I have the discretionarity to go to the private operator and says, look, as you have seen through the functional requirements in the contract notice, I need to fix this, or to have a thing that gives me that function. So give me the information to make an innovation product that help me saving money, for example. And that is how it is articulated, in my point of view. Although I would look upon to see a requirement to publish the results of the partnership, or the final of partnership in the end of it, with exceptions of confidential obligations that in the field of innovation are all over the places. But we should have, at least it is a requirement to monitoring the money, because without that it could be an attractive field for anti-competitive behavior, because we can sign the contract and then make any other thing with a partner and say, oh, we could have built something for hospitals, but this could also serve for schools and that's another problem. As I have said, you have a phase when the contracting authority can almost finance the private operator. So you can have a problem with state aid. According to that author that I'm quoting, it can be said that when future goods, services, or works are found to state money, and in the field, and we are in the field of research and development, it has to be some rules, otherwise it would fall in the scope of Article 107 of the treaty that talks about state aids. And the temporal control should not be on the financial only, but on the impact that the future technology will have on the market. And those who are familiar with competition law, the concept of market is relevant market. But when we talk about innovation, the concept cannot be the relevant market. It has to be the innovation market with a completely different concept. I will not have the time to go further in the definition of that type of market, but it's a completely different one. And we should all pay attention to that when we are approaching this. The main question is, are innovation partnerships capable of favor undertakings by giving them an economic advantage above of the minimum thresholds capable of distorting competition in the European market? I will ask if anyone feel free to say anything. Okay, I will answer myself. Quoting again that the same Spanish author, it says that it might put some economic operators in the starting point positions that distort competition, because I'm financing a private operator to do me something and I'm killing the market that are going to grow. Because the innovation market, startup market, is a very dynamic, and it could grow up in a garage, for example, like a band, or with a computer, as we have seen the example of Facebook in completely different contexts. It came from nowhere with not that big financial means. But it could have a contravene effect on the market, and instead of providing a market pool, it is causing or killing the market and the competition, because you are only putting forces in one private operation instead of doing the market itself to talk. The accusation of IP and innovation. Again, that is a very complex subject because IP regulation is not harmonized in all European countries, especially the ownership of IP rights. Regarding to copyrights, that is, as we know, softwares are subject to copyright protection, not patents, and they cannot pass and not be sold to anyone. Only the license, or the economic license, could be sold, not the ownership. And Article 29 forces the state to acquire the relevant intellectual property rights. But I would ask Pedro to take the stage if I could now. But they don't tell us how it should be acquired. In Germany, for example, we could not acquire something that is protected by copyright. It's the copyright holders. You can only acquire the license. So, what the European Commission means by acquiring the relevant intellectual property rights. In our opinion, it should only imply that the contracting authority has to acquire not the rights, but solely the license. And therefore, we can have a really market pool and create markets and initiatives to private operators. Although I would like to finally say that it's not clear how these phases or intermediate targets and successive stages are going to articulate between themselves and the principles of the European treaties. So it could be good to have some soft law, at least to help us setting some boundaries to the principles of the European treaties. And finally, my final word is that we are always talking about innovation and innovation in procurement, but what should be the role of the state when buying innovation? Must be, in my opinion, not only to fulfill its needs, but to create a private market pool in innovation, namely helping small medium enterprises, for example. That could be the strategy or the key to economic growth. Because, as we can see from that census, all of us do not have equal talents, but all of us should have an equal opportunity. And in some countries, we cannot have the same opportunities as David Ricardo was thinking in the theory of comparative advantages. Okay, and that's it.